What's up, guys? This is Bunny Muffins. I got the patch 10.7 notes. Humongous changes here. We have the introduction of Galaxies, which are new maps, which makes every game feel a little different with a little twist here and there. Huge buffs and nerfs. Look at the list here. So let's just get right into it because this is one of the biggest patches we've had in a while, apart from the new set. So first we're going to go to the system changes. We have Neekoverse for one of the Galaxies, where everyone gets a free copy, 2 free copies of Neekos Help every single game. We have the Lilac Nebula. The first carousel only contains 4 cost units, so maybe you could get an Aurelia or something like that and 4 cybernetics. A lot of weird things you could do here. Maybe you want to just get a Jhin, something more safe so that you could go snipers with Caitlyn. We'll have to figure that out once this gets released. Next up, we have medium legends. So little legends are larger and you have 25 more starting health. This one means we probably are going to hit late game a lot easier during this Galaxy, so that could be fun as well. Other system stuff, shop drop rates, they fixed this change. You now get fewer legendaries at level 8. I personally really like this change because I thought it was too easy to get the legendaries currently. The rules for which items stay and which bounce off when combining champions now prioritizes items on champs on the board over those that you get from carousel. So that's a really good change for us because now it's a lot more manageable and predictable for combining items when you, combining items when you combine a champion. The odds of seeing a special carousel has been reduced. I like this a lot because I've always been a fan of the random carousel, but there have been a lot of weird carousels lately where you just can't find a certain item when you really need it when you're low health. Lastly, we removed the additional 5 seconds per planning phase that is done at the start of each set. Timers are now back to normal. Alright, so we gotta keep that in mind. This is actually key change here because a lot of people who got accustomed to having those extra time, you're not going to have that anymore. So we got to play a little faster now. So now we go into the traits. Blade Master's chance to activate 30% at 3 Blade Master and 60% at 6. So they are buffing 6 Blade Master. No one's really playing it right now, but I think there's potential because Kale is a very, very strong unit and she's going to get a lot of benefits from going like 6 Blade Master and maybe 1 Valkyrie. We'll see what builds turn up, but that looks like my first guess as to who's going to be the carry in that composition. Brawler's health decreased a little bit. Not too sure why they did this because no one really plays 4 Brawlers. Yeah, this makes no sense to me, but whatever. The only 4 Brawler comp is with Blasters, but it's so hard to go Blasters because everyone went Rebels last patch. So why would you go Blaster Brawler when you could just go Rebels when you're looking for Jinx? Chrono attack speed increased at 6 Chrono. Okay, this one seems a little far-fetched. I've seen the 6 Chrono units, but I don't know if you're gonna actually want to play all of them because a lot of them are really weak, but we'll see if this actually becomes a thing. Reworking Darkstar. When a Darkstar champion dies, all other Darkstar champions gain 25 attack damage and spell power at level 3 and 35 at level 6. This is a pretty big change. It makes champions like Karma not useless when she gets a Darkstar buff. I don't know how I feel about this. I thought the old one was pretty cool, but I don't really mind this at all because it makes other champions who would normally be useless with Darkstar a lot more useful. They're also reworking Mana Reaver to 2 bonus. Mana Reaver attacks increase the mana cost of their target's next spell by 40%, and there's no longer a 4-piece bonus. That's very interesting. Why would you have 4 Mana Reavers if you only need 2 of them? But 40%, yeah. So nothing too much has changed here. Mystics now grant less magic resistance at level 4 and more at level 2. I actually like this change a lot because I feel like for Mystic, everyone's kind of going for it because there's so much magic damage in the meta right now, so this is a fabulous change. Sniper damage bonus increased. No clue why they did this because snipers are very strong right now, so not much reason to buff them. I guess maybe with the Darkstar change, Jhin might do a lot less damage, so maybe this sniper bonus damage increase is to make up for the Darkstar damage nerf for Jhin. This makes stuff like Karma better, but Jhin definitely gets worse from this. Now we're on to the champions. So we have Caitlyn cast time reduced to 1.1 seconds. That's nice because it does take her a long time to cast, and she now resumes attacking more quickly after firing her bullet. Good change there. Xayah attack speed increase. That's fine because she's probably one of the least played 1-cost units. Ziggs got a 5 mana increase, perfectly okay, since he's very broken right now. Zoe's starting mana starting mana reduced to 70 and total mana reduced to 100. So overall, this is a buff because now she needs less mana to get her second spell proc. Also makes sense that they buff her damage since, again, she's probably one of the least played one cost in the game. Though the damage buff is only a 3-star, so maybe this doesn't change anything at all. But if we see like some sorcerer buffs, maybe they could start becoming meta again. Next up, we have Tier 2 champions. Darius' health increased. I don't really think he needs that. I think Space Pirates are already too strong because even though their win rate might not be that good, you get gold for free if you get some kills and you get a little lucky. So I don't like this change at all. I thought Darius was in a fine spot. Xin Zhao, mana increased by 10, and his spell damage increased at levels 1, 2, and 3. Overall, this is a nerf because you really like getting a shield from his whenever he casts a spell, protectors gain a small shield. So you don't really care about his damage. You really only cared about how often he got a spell off. So overall, this is a nerf, but I'm glad that they didn't completely like gut him. Next up, we have the Tier 3 champions. Ezreal, starting mana reduced and his total mana increased. So this is a big nerf. Ezreal is very strong. They also nerfed his damage by 50 at level 1 and 2 and 100 at level 3. Ezreal is probably one of the best transition units because he could hold a lot of different items and he's shuts down a lot of teams in the mid game. So this nerf is completely justified in my opinion. Next up we have Caston, total mana reduced to 80. I thought Caston was in a fine spot, it's just that Mana Reaver is terrible, so we'll have to see if this actually helps bring him back into the game. Chaco bonus damage reduced at 3-star. He's the same champion at 1 and 2-star, so this is a good change because Shaka was completely taking over games for free. But this combined with the Dark Star buff, or Dark Star rework, might make him weaker. Because the Dark Star rework, he does benefit a lot from attack damage, but I think he really just wanted the damage bonus from the Dark Star buff. But I haven't done the math on it. Maybe someone can do it and let me know in the comments down below. Next up, we have Tier 4 champion, Soraka buffed, both in terms of mana and in terms of heal. Wow, that's crazy. I always thought Soraka was really good, so I don't know why they needed to do this. Obviously, she gets outshined by Lulu, but that's because Lulu is a legendary unit, so she's going to outshine everyone. And then you want your other Mystic to be synergistic with whatever comp you have. And since people aren't playing Star Guardian Sorcerers, that's the only reason why Soraka isn't being played as much right now. So I would have rather seen them buff Sorcerers and Star Guardians rather than buffing Soraka, because I think she's a very strong unit individually. Vel'Koz's total mana decreased by 10, so that's 1 sorcerer buff, and Wukong increased by 100 for his health. Pretty decent change. Vanguards aren't that popular in my opinion. You really just care about Mordekaiser and Jace, so I'm glad that they are buffing like the more expensive unit there. Now onto the juicy changes down here. All the 5-cost legendary champions, Aurelion Soul spell damage, reduced by 20 at level 1 and reduced by 25 at level 2. So this is around like a little less than 20% nerf. And his target selection per fighter is now random from weighted random favoring nearby. I actually like that it's purely random now. It makes Morello slightly better, I think, because now it potentially hits more targets rather than hitting the same targets. Though if you don't have Morello, then it would be worse. This would be a nerf. For sure. I think overall this is a nerf, but if you have a Morello, it's not as bad. Echo spell damage. It is now reduced at level 1 and 2. I'm very surprised by this. I do not think Echo is strong at all. I think he's actually the weakest legendary unit. So I don't think this was necessary. For example, I have level 2 Echo with 3 items, and a lot of times he doesn't even go off if I don't have Guardian Angel. So even when he does have Guardian Angel, I've had him get full mana, die, respawn, and then die again before he actually casts his ultimate because there's a slight delay before he casts. Gangplank starting total mana both increased by 25, so his first ultimate's going to go off at the same time as it normally has, except now it'll take him longer to get a second ultimate, so this doesn't matter because he only gets 1 ultimate off anyways. This is the big change down here. He does 30% less damage at level 1 and 30% less damage at level 2. Huge changes there. It means you're going to be more reliant on Rabadon's Death Cap or maybe a Jeweled Gauntlet in order to get those one-shots that we've been so used to. and he'll definitely have to be level 2. Note that his level 2 damage is even less than his level 1 damage on the current patch. Lulu attack speed reduced, perfectly good with this, though I think they should either reduce her starting mana or increase her mana pool because I feel like she's going off a little too often. Lastly, we have Misfortune. She has her attack speed nerfed by 0.1. Mana increase the same as the Gangplank change, but again, these two changes don't matter because they really only ult once per fight. If they ult twice, the second one probably won't matter because the fight would be decided anyways. But the big changes down here, we got 10% less spell damage on level 1 and level 2. This one isn't as drastic as a Gangplank change, so I think MF is still going to be super strong the same way she is now. But that's it for the champions. I'm pretty excited about this. I still think Rebels are going to be really strong. They only touch Aurelion Sol and Gangplank, and sometimes you just use Gangplank for the stun, and as long as you stack Aurelion Sol, it's only like a 20% damage nerf, so I don't think it's that bad at all. Now onto the items. Okay, I guess this might nerf them too. Morello, Namicon, and Red Buff now do only 27% damage instead of 30% of enemies' maximum health. Static Shiv damage increased by 5, and Warmog's health regen increased by 1%. These are very minor changes. I don't think this is going to change anyone's itemization in the current state of the game. Static Shiv, never going to be useful because Chronos aren't very good. There's no Ranger class right now, and early game doesn't matter where Static Shiv shines in the early game. So now miscellaneous changes. A bunch of champions' attacks perform as part of their spell can now trigger the effects of Static Shiv, Guinsoo's... Oh wow, I love this change. Before I built Static Shiv on Echo because it wasn't really... because I thought it would work on him, and then it just didn't. I was so sad. I'm glad they're doing this now. This makes Static Shiv like a pretty good item on Echo because it gives him mana, so it's definitely buildable on him. Same with Guinsoo's on maybe someone like Lucian because he's going to live for a long time, or Xin Zhao because he has a lot of tanky stats. Runons I don't really care too much about, but the rest of these other items, like, they look really cool on a lot of these champions who have auto attacks on their abilities. And now champions celebrate when they are victorious in combat. That's going to be a nice change. It'll be fun to see that. And Grave Splash Heart has been updated to more closely match its in-game model. Lastly, we have some bug fixes. There was a bug where Hand of Justice was healing more when you had more ability power. Same with Rebel Shield, which is kind of weird if you think about it. I'm glad these two are being fixed. Lucian's Relentless Pursuit now properly counts as an auto attack purpose for the purposes of the Blaster trait, so that's a pretty big buff to Lucian, because now his extra auto can... he's going to get more of those Blaster procs from now on. Fix an issue where sometimes Misfortune would not turn during bullet time. So now, if you guys don't know, Misfortune always targets the furthest away enemy, and that's why you'll see her move around a little bit. Aurelion Sol now works properly after GA triggers, and Shaco's spell tooltip, it causes a critical hit on top of the spell's bonus damage, so these are two separate damage instances when you are calculating which item's going to be better on him. Updated the Zoe tooltip to specify she does magic damage. Same for Poppy, and Gunblade now correctly heals when dealing damage against shields. Oh wow, that's a huge change. I didn't know this was a bug. That'd make it really awkward if you're attacking someone with a shield and not healing. And lastly, Space Pirates no longer generate gold from attempting to deal lethal damage to Fiora while she's invulnerable. Okay, that I didn't even know was a bug. Now onto the mobile corner. They made some changes to the way the phone keyboard works. Account errors during login have been destroyed, and when you completed all your available missions, you'll see a fun Pengu friend instead of a bunch of completed missions you don't care about. And lastly, no more mysterious any pings or any ping. No pings at all on mobile. That's very interesting because you could still ping in desktop. But yeah, that's it for right now. Rebels got hit a little bit. I still think they're going to be pretty good. Obviously not as dominant as they are now because Gangplank got nerfed to the ground. This makes Guardian Angel a little lower on the priority list as well, but let's have some fun on Tuesday. I'm going to be releasing, or not Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. Patch comes out on Wednesday tomorrow, April 1st. So maybe this whole patch is a joke. I don't really know. I actually rate this patch pretty highly, maybe like 8 out of 10. But I feel like they could have touched Rebels a little more because they're super, super dominant right now, and I have no idea why they have this Echo change or why they buff Sniper. But maybe the Darkstar change nerfed Jhin a lot, and Again, I haven't done the math. If you have, leave a comment in the section down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like as well, as that helps me out and helps the channel out. And if you are new to the channel, you definitely want to hit that subscribe button. You'll get updated whenever I release a new guide or a new video. The next one will probably be on Friday, which is what I do every week, where I update my meta snapshot at bunnymuffins.lol/meta. And I also update you guys with a video talking over which compositions are strong and a brief mention on how to play all of them. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. I'll see you guys on Friday. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And of course, smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.